Welcome back to Crawford-Clark Close-Up. As we get ever closer to our first Christmas, we'll be bringing you reviews of some classic Christmas films right here throughout December. Before that, we need to give you our thoughts on the 5 films to date in the Millennium series. In this video, we'll be giving you our ranking and thoughts on the original Swedish trilogy, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, as well as the US version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and the newest release from author David Lagercrantz, The Girl in the Spider's Web. This is our ranking of the films to date. Let us know your ranking in the comments below, and if you like this review, please subscribe to Crawford-Clark Close-Up for more. You can find us on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and you can email us with your suggestions for films we can review in the coming months on the channel, crawfordclarkcloseup@gmail.com. Let's get started. In 5th place, we have The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. After hints of promise to the continuation story of Lisbeth Salander in The Girl Who Played with Fire, you would probably have expected this final part of the trilogy to be full of suspense and action-packed, with a great payoff. Whilst the final 40 minutes of the story managed to succeed for the most part in concluding Lisbeth's story, the remainder of the film is a meandering slog, a disappointing end to a largely solid trilogy up to this point. In at number 4, and a mild improvement over our 5th place spot, is The Girl Who Played with Fire. Certainly not as strong a follow-up in the trilogy to the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Here we find Lisbeth returning to Stockholm after enjoying her success overseas following the defeat of Hans-Erik Wennerström at the end of Dragon Tattoo, before quickly wishing she hadn't returned as she becomes suspect in a triple murder case. A young budding reporter is working for Millennium magazine and conducting a report on sex trafficking, whilst his girlfriend has just completed a thesis on the same topic. When the two of them and Salander's rapist guardian Björman are found murdered, the finger of blame points to Salander. It's up to ever-faithful Mikael Blomkvist to try and protect an innocent Salander. This second film is definitely bogged down in too much backstory for Lisbeth, including a reveal about her father in the final act that seems to be only presented in a half-assed way to audiences. In 3rd place, we actually have the dividing newest release, The Girl in the Spider's Web. As it's been 7 years this year since the 2011 US reboot of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Claire Foy is the 3rd actress to take on the role of Lisbeth Salander in as many films, and she does a fine job with the material she's given. It's not the strongest narrative of all 4 individual stories thus far, but the cinematography is evocative, Foy makes a believable protagonist, and the film never feels like it's flagging, which could be said of both the second and concluding chapter of the original Swedish trilogy. The leanest of the films to date, this is a pacey, engaging tale, which should ensure that we'll be seeing more of Foy as Salander in the imminent forthcoming adaptation of the 2017 novel The Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye, from returning continuation writer David Lagercrantz. Just missing out on 1st place is the original Swedish Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Of course, the first of Stieg Larsson's trilogy is the strongest story of the lot, and the Swedish original from 2009 is directed with flair and precision by Nils Arden Oplev. Noomi Rapace is terrific in her breakout feature film role as Lisbeth Salander, the hacker, who helps the late Michael Nyqvist's Mikael Blomkvist solve the case of Harriet Wenger. There's twists and turns in the story that show the mark of a terrific thriller, and the performances are first-rate across the board. And in 1st place, merely due to the fact that the acting is stepped up a notch from its predecessor and the direction is even tighter than the original, is David Fincher's fantastic 2011 reboot of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Rooney Mara is alarmingly good as the striking Salander, and the idea of pairing her up with Daniel Craig's Blomkvist might have sounded absurd at first, but it works well, the two sparking off each other brilliantly. The cinematography is luscious, from the Bondian title sequence to the chilling end, and the score is unsettling. It's just a great shame that disappointing box office returns put a halt to this dream team filming the sequels Fire and Hornet's Nest. So there you have it, our short but sweet ranking of the 5 films to date in the Millennium series. Let us know your own ranking of the films so far in the comments below, and please subscribe to Crawford-Clark Close-Up for more reviews just like this of new and classic releases. Coming up next, we'll be getting our comedy on with a 30th anniversary look back over the hilarious Naked Gun trilogy. Until then, though, thanks for watching, and that's a wrap.